Hey everyone, it's Krista. I'm here. Green lights on. Okay, so it says I'm live. We're going to be playing with the top of shifter. And so this large silver thing is the transmission cover that has the shift forks. The gizmo I painted blue, which is gonna get the shifter input installed, and then we will add the lever arm for it that moves the forks. Yeah, that part. So usually I do all the screws through a die kind of early in any project, but these 4 screws were in a different location. I had them somewhere else. They're actually not the ones from Ford because the 2 of the original holes were stripped out. And I discovered that while cleaning Billie Jean, and I could see water when I messed with things. Like you could tell a bolt was loose, and I was like, that's not right. So pretty much anything steel that I refurbish, I'm going to paint. It's almost universal. Like I started that with our rotational molding machine. All right, so I don't even know if all 4 of them had lock washers originally, but at least 2 of them were using lock washers because those 2 were not stripped. All right, let's get that seal installed. Not much, just a little seal. You can measure seals and buy ones based on their size. And so I think Work bought me this one from McMaster. Probably cost a little more than other places, but we were ordering something anyway for production, and then it's like big whoop, add that to the order. Of course, I asked, and boss lady was okay. Can you see? Yeah, you can see this part. So this over here is my grease gun. In case it's another 30 years before anyone comes here again, I'm just making everything a sloppy mess of grease. I don't think I tried to clean in that well. Well, it might not be too bad. I'm going to fill it up with grease, and the end of the shifter is like all rusted anyway. All right, here's this. Get him lined up. And let's see. Will this make a good pad? Perfect. Maybe we should do this on something that's not as flexible. Perfect. I'm really not going after it, so I'm not too worried. And if it was more critical or bigger or something, I'd probably use the press. Maybe. I don't know. I put the press away, so maybe I wouldn't use the press. Oh my God, my ADD is so wicked bad today. It's pretty horrible. I'm not gonna lie. All right, there was another couple pieces. Oh, we need to clean this. Oh, that's gross. Ew. We should have cleaned these someday before today. So that goes there. Then this goes here. And we're gonna put the shaft through. So yeah, we need to kind of clean on these some. All right, there's our kerosene. Okay. What do we want? Some more rags, some real rags. Oh gosh. Y'all, I know so many folks don't think much about ADD, but like my brain hurts. It just sucks. My brain hurts. All right, so let's just kind of get this a little bit out of the way for the moment. Like for real, the ADD, it makes thinking hard, and it's just crazy. And it's not like a headache kind of hurt, but a muscle kind of hurt, I guess. So I try to think, and then my brain gets all grumpy. So the first step with when you have these old parts is you just figure out what level are they, and in my case, I lean towards never replacing. So it's like I kind of do a first pass just to make sure the thing isn't completely ruined or unserviceable. Here's a nicely sized. So I got these from that jungle website. I think I managed to not get that in my water. So bonus round there. Maybe water should go somewhere safer. I don't know. What do you think? Might be wise. All right, so this isn't like in oil or in anything. I'm not the most excited about how crusty it is, but I think I'm just gonna like fill that whole world with grease and not care. Bellows looks to be in acceptable shape. Maybe it's been replaced. I don't know. I don't know. We need a brush. We're going to use a brush and make this cleaner. So yeah, I really apologize that I'm so crazy sometimes. Like I was thinking about not filming and just getting it done, but like the real side of all of this is why anyone might want to see this ever. Um, sure, I'm probably the only person. I mean, it's possible I'm the only person on the internet who's shown how the Clark transmission works. I looked before, I didn't find anything. And then, in fact, the what really started it was the Eaton servo for the ratio on the rear axle. Like it's a pretty simple device, and people treat it like it's a black magic box. And maybe when it was in service, the parts weren't that much money, or they were plenty available, and it was like just throw a new one on, get back to work. And that's fine for current in production equipment and vehicles. Oh, we do have a little bit of a crack. Okay. So we'll definitely just fill this thing all the way up with grease. Why not? Oh gosh, that's gross. But yeah, like kind of what got me going on all this was wanting a truck and then looking at YouTubes and then seeing people like Matt at Diesel Creek who share what they do, what they know, their mistakes. That's the really important part, is when folks share their mistakes, it just helps everyone to not make those mistakes. Um, I have a business selling motorcycle parts, and it was sort of founded on helping out in the forums and saying, like watching people with their problems, and I'd be like, hey, I had that problem, and here's what happened to me. And then I'd shared things that I'd bought and things that I'd done, and folks liked it. And then at some point they were like, well, you're a mechanic, shouldn't you just like sell me the parts? And I was like, okay, sure. Actually, it wasn't quite like that. It was like I was telling them, well, go to your favorite local small shop like we were, and tell them to look in their, Parts Limited catalog or their Tucker Rocky catalog, or get in with this vendor, and then they can get the parts for you, and they can make their money. And then, so this was like 1997, and they were like, well, I got a credit card. Can't you just take my credit card number and put it in UPS? And I was like, I guess I could. So I was one of the first e-commerce sites that focused on Ducati motorcycles. I programmed the whole site before you could get software packages. I mean, heck, I created the search page in Yahoo for Ducati. Like you could just add the category. All right, that's sort of a good first level clean. Let's trash that. Um, let's go after it with the kerosene towel a little more. So you can get these terry cloth towels from Costco. You can get a bundle of white ones, and I think they're a foot square. And so I'll cut them into quarters, then maybe eighths or sixteenths, and I'll just keep using these things until they're just disgusting and you can't stand them anymore. And then I throw them away. They also had, I don't know if they still do, they might, the red shop towels. Kind of early on, I found out that it cost less for the amount of rags I was using to buy them from Costco and throw them away than to use the cleaning service that came by the shop. And so I did the same thing like with these. I have a few different grades of or tiers of how I use them. And then eventually I throw them away. The problem with the service is that sometimes they come back with metal chips in them. And so that can wreck your parts or your paint or whatever, your hands. So, like service might have been kind of nice, but it kind of sucked at the same time. Well, except for its little crack. I mean, this gizmo is almost as good as new. All right, let's put a whole bunch of grease in it. Let's put some more whole bunch. And one more whole bunch. All right. I almost feel like we should treat this, but honestly, it's. I'm not going to want to pull it all apart to fix it. So, in that regard, I should treat it, but it's late enough in the game. I just kind of can't. And it'll probably be fine. It feels very surfacey. We're putting lots of grease in there. If you're real serious about your vintage rubber parts, there is such a thing as aircraft rubber restoration chemicals and compounds. All right, so we're going to put this on. We're going to do the spring. Oh, wait, we need to put a whole bunch of grease on that. I guess I'll use this for my degrease myself rag. So yesterday, I didn't end up filming it because it was really kind of quick to do, and plus it was so hot I was trying to not die. But I got the brakes caged and I jacked up one of the wheels to the back of Billie Jean, and I rotated the drive axle and spun a tire. And so the inside of the transmission and the synchro turned, and I looked and I saw it, and there wasn't anything to see in it. And then so fourth was like cockeyed, and then I pulled it forward and I put it back, and then I just sort of engaged it, and it totally went. And I was like, whoa. And no slipping at all. So I don't know. I think maybe all of our problems with fourth were the pad on the shift fork, one of them gone and the other one present. I think that's what did it. I hope. So let's put a bunch of goo in here. And by goo, I mean grease. And I'm also just, this face is so dry. I want to get it wet, and maybe that'll help it not rust. So we're getting it wet with grease. A little bit of grease everywhere the paint came off. Okay. So this goes in like that. This guy only has one screw. So obviously he's going to go like that. And like really nothing locks this in except for when it's installed. All right, where's our bolt? I didn't prepare nothing for the bolt. It's kind of a trippy little bolt. It's got a cone on the end and it's drilled through for safety wire. And for safety wire, they just used really creepy chunk of metal, not safety wire at all. And definitely it was not stainless steel. So yeah, I get why you want safety wire on a screw that goes to the top of your transmission, not half inch. 7/16. All right. Probably what I'll do is when I go to actually safety wire this in about 15 seconds, I will draw you in closer. Now this is acting bottomed out and I don't see it has space. No one's watching to be disappointed. I think I want to try to put a lock washer on that. All right, I'm going to run next door and get a lock washer. It really won't take long, and I'll keep distracting you by breathing hard into your ears or jogging. Lock washers are here. Oh no, that one's too small. That one's too perfect. All right. Oh, is that gonna work? Shoot. Maybe it will. Let's give it a shot. It's a metric, so it's probably not quite sized correctly. But it perfectly fits in the little well where it's going to go. So that's fun. when I go to do the safety wiring, I am going to bring you closer. What's crazy is that I was actually taught safety wiring when I was in the Navy. I guess sure if it has a standard way they teach the course or not. Well, that about looks like ass, but it's there and it's tight. Oh, it's really tight. But we had to learn to safety wire for the radar system and working aloft. So parts of the radar had its bolts lock wired. And then of course I raced for a minute and you have to safety wire lots of things on the motorcycle when you race it, like drain bolt, oil fill. Well, they had to roll anything containing fluids. All right, so there's a little hole transversing the head. This is 28 thousandths. It's stainless steel. I've had this 30 years, I guess. Kind of just sort of wondering what I want my plan to be. So even all the way in, we've got plenty of room on the shaft. So what I think I'm going to do is go through the shaft, give it some twists, and then twist again after. So part of it is you need to prevent the screw from turning. And the way it's pointed is kind of goofy. You need to come from the long way to prevent it from turning. So that's a little bit odd. Safety wire pliers, they come with a cutter, and then when you pull on them, they twist. So you pull on this and it twists. And also when you grip the pair of wires, there's a catch. And so you grip it and then you push that and it catches. And then that's how that works. Always watch out for the ends. They will poke through gloves and they will poke through skin right to your soul and you will be sad. So this is like obviously way too much, but you can work with that. So I kind of draw it together and then bring it to about where I want to go. They're side by side. You squeeze, use your thumb. You want to make sure they don't cross where it clips. And I'll just use this to kind of hold the wire over in theory. And then you pull. So for the bare ends, they will scratch paint. They will put your eye out. They will cause mischief and mayhem. So we have a twist that goes to our fastener. We get it through the hole. And as you're feeding it, like just sort of help it along. Oh, we should have done a few more twists. So we're just going to take that back out and do a few more twists. Oh, that lock washer is totally loose. Well, fine, jerks. It's going to wreck all our plans. So now we need to find something to go under that. I wonder if that's 5/16. Oh, I just bought a whole kit of 5/16 stuff. No, these are 3/8. These are not 5/16. Interestingly, the washer does fit. I wonder if this is some kind of goofy freaking metric thing. This washer looks too big to fit there, though. Let's see. How does this compare to the 3/8 washer? Oh, the 3/8 proper washer is a little bit tighter, so we're going to use that one. This is probably an M10 lock washer I initially grabbed. See, that washer doesn't fit in the recess. That's no good. So this kind of big weirdo washer is not going to work for us. Do we have any other washers laying around? No, this is not for you. That's not the droid I'm looking for. Next dumb question, is this thicker than that other one? Not appreciably. Well, what the heck? Can I take one of these washers and section it? Maybe. I don't know if section's the right word. But sometimes I do really silly things like this. Hey, what's up?
Trying to check the cat boots and the Mitzi.
Oh, Mitzi's good. I checked her.
Oh, you already did? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Cool.
Cool.
Give me. I want to make it fit. That's not going to work at all. It's like I need a washer, but I don't have any the right size.
Not wanting to chip it.
Nope. Ooh, chip, that's a good word. This works better for things that are a little bit thicker. Man, put a dent in it. Let's take our magic bolt, see if we can find a washer over here. At the same spot there were lock washers. We have all those say 5/16. That one's a little tight. What is this? What is this? This is too tight. Bugger. Is this? Oh, that's a lock washer. We don't want to stack those, do we? Oh, this is just all obnoxious. All right, here's another one, and it's not rudely huge. Cool. All right, I think this will work. Oh, gosh. So this washer was in a hardware box from one of those stores you can go to. I think it was from the orange kind of store, and I believe it was labeled as 5/16. I'm not entirely sure if all the direct facts. Well, we're going to go with that. Okay. Well, that's no good. We're not even in the hole now. All right, so I guess no washer. I don't even remember if there is a lock washer when I took it apart. Up here was so rusty. If this doesn't crush the crush washer, it just stays, and that's life. I'm done jerking around. I just want to get this stuff ready to go back onto the truck. Interesting. They don't line up. I'm going to have to remember that. Wow, that's weird. And it only has the one hole. There's no other provisions. Oops, that was tight. That was loosening. Now we tighten. All right, so kind of same deal as before. We need a few more twists. If you're aircraft certified kind of work, I don't think you're allowed to do that, what I just did. I think you have to cut it and start over. I'm not entirely sure. I don't entirely care. Because if you're aircraft certified, you already know. And you're not DIYing everything like I am. I'm Billie Jean. Good gosh. So you can just come in from like 80 miles away. And that's pretty great. Cut it off. I always like to make sure you keep these a little bit here. That way when you cut it, they stay together and you can throw them in the trash. If you're ever going to be in this area again, curl that around. Or if your work is going to be inspected by anybody, it just shows a little bit of attention to detail, and it helps prevent folks from getting pierced. All right, does this fit over? I wonder if this is intended to fit over that. I kind of bet it is. All right, so we want to use something less sharp than my snap-on screwdriver. I have a plastic stick over here. Okay, wow. Wow, this sure is obnoxious, that's for sure. Well, what if we tried to bolt it to the cover? So let's just make that the next happy step in this little struggle bus we're in. That tab just goes right in there. Mommy. It's probably wishful thinking, hoping I won't have to go in here again. But I have a feeling I will be taking these out more than a few times. Definitely using anti-seize, probably as much to try to block moisture as prevent the threads from galling on the aluminum. So 2 of these holes were stripped out at the top, and they were stripped almost bad enough that there were no threads left. and these are longer screws than were in the truck when I got it. These are probably 1.5 inches, and they probably had 1.25 inches. In theory, there's That's really bizarre. I have no idea what to think of all that. I might actually need to go find the drawing thingy for the transmission. The spring is on the inside. And it goes where? It goes between it goes on the inside. Oh crap. Okay. Well, I'm glad I found this and I'm questioning life. We get to redo all our work. Yay! I wonder if, oh my gosh, I wonder if they put it together wrong, and then I wonder if they had the spring out there incorrectly, and then wow, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Holy crap. Oh, thank God for that PDF. So, everyone's heard of the Eaton Road Ranger transmission. So I think it's roadranger.com is where I found the PDF for the Clark transmission. All right, let's move that over there. And now we have to get in there and cut our safety wire. We have tools for this. Here's the first thing that cuts that. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. There, you still can't see, but at least it's within your purview. Nope. That's not gonna work. our side cutter thingies. That worked. And let's see. So there's always a way to trap the wire on. So you have to think about it. So this wire went through the head of the bolt, and if I'd have cut the one going over, the twist is still there under the head of the bolt, trapping it. Oh gosh. Oh my god, I can't believe. So this isn't the thing. This is the thing. And it's like really crap quality. It's like the PDF is an image of a scan. I can't quite tell what the part numbers are. Spring and set screw 8 and 9. Maybe. Jeez. But it does not look like a spring is where I have this. You got a path?
I think I can make it do that actually.
Thanks for helping and doing the trashes. Okie dokes. All right, this makes much more sense. Get him lined up and started. Yay. And I'm pretty sure I didn't take pictures or anything of this. So, like, kind of scary. Definitely, you should take pictures of things before taking them apart and document as well as you can. This makes more sense because I remember having to kind of fight with it to get it to go into where it belongs. That makes much more sense. Okay. Let's glob a bunch of grease on the spring. Now we get to safety wire again. Another thing you can do with the safety wire is you can start through the bolt. Do what? No, but that's okay. Yeah, what time is it? Oh, can you bring back the boxes, please? Safety wire, where did you go? You're under this. Thank you.
Gotham and Brad.
Yay. All right, we have to get the UPS set up. Oh gosh. All right, and then the cardboards are anti-cat escape barrier. Okay, back to original programming. What did I do to y'all? Oh gosh. Okay, does that work? Oh, that totally works. All right. So if we feed it through the bolt first and tighten over to the shaft, well, maybe we'll give that a shot this time. I do still need to dig around in the transmission and look for the other bushing we were missing. I mean, it's possible they removed it. Sure, why not? But at the same time, we don't want that chilling in the transmission. So, all right, so same deal here. It's going to want to turn that way to loosen. So we need to prevent that direction of turning, which means you come from here and go that way. That's great. Now we have to send the end around behind the shaft and then catch it. Good gravy. This is going to be kind of a sloppy job. I think some people might be grumpy about how I do this one, but you know what? It's going to keep the bolt from getting loose. I don't care. I don't care. There you go. It's coming off that way, preventing the bolt from loosening. And it's tightened to its own shaft. All right. I wonder if I could get this thing to flop over now. Well, let's just go ahead and get the dang thing bolted up. Yeah, that makes sense. I remember really having to struggle on this guy a little bit. I feel much better. This makes so much more sense. How was that for foreshadowing? Oh, I'm probably going to have to need to get in here sooner than I think, or more often than I think, or something dumb like that. Oh, yeah. Huh. Durr. All right, my fingers are greasy. They're not greasy, they're sweaty. I have my palm ratchet. There it is. These things are just so amazing. I guess I don't need an 80-foot extension. Now you could be like, well, why aren't you using a power tool? Well, I don't use them a whole lot. Plus, these guys already suffered having threads stripped once. I'm not going to go and add to that little misery with more. Uh-uh. Your green light is still on. Okay. All right. So we're going to go like 15 foot-pounds. It's pretty low spec, but we're doing like, these are like 8mm into aluminum. And that's still pretty tight. Gosh, come on. There we go. Oh, that's right. These are like SAE course, so they feel different to me. I was expecting them to lock up the way that metric M8 bolts do. Those kind of snug down a little more quickly. All right. Well, there we go. And this sort of makes sense. It comes in at an angle, so that would sort of explain why it's not, say, straight up and down, because it's going to the shifter mount on top of the engine. So yeah, bolted to the top of the engine is a framework for the shift lever with a boot, and then it has a pivot shaft and a ball mount, I think. And then it's just a big pipe that comes back here past the exhaust. This is the original mount that was there. And like, this is really loose. And so I got a replacement ball joint thing that is tighter. And we're going to be using that in its place. And so that other shifter was clamped in here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to thread into here with the ball. So we're about an inch closer, and that's going to make the throw a lot less. And that was my goal there. I have no idea what you're supposed to do to get this thing on. Oh no, don't break. Come on, baby, you can do it. Dang it. All right, yeah. The accordion is torn where it tries to seal on that, but well, we tried. We did the best we could. We tried. So that part's all kind of done. Yeah, there's no way I'm getting that. It's crazy. All right, where'd my screwdriver go? Let's put it back into neutral. Okay. How long have we been doing this? An hour? Hour and 10 minutes? Wow. Let's see what all these text messages were. Boss lady checking in. All right, so what are we gonna do? We were gonna open up our video and share it to the Books of Facing, and we're to tell ourselves, well, come be bored with me. Getting Billie Jean's shifter shifter ready. Okay, see, look, that's me. All right, we're gonna put these things on. Oh, those got dirty somehow. What the heck? What do you mean just dragging it around on the table by its feet? Whoa, was a bad thing. Jesus, I'm a danger. All right, so we have our shift pads. Oh, that one just went on. These are all the same part number. I had, what are those pliers? Channel locks. Channel locks look like they'd be perfect for that. Those are not them. Y'all don't think I put them back where they belong, do you? Because that would just be really out of character. Oh, I put them back where they belong. What? Oh, that really worked well. Okay. All right, so I guess the next trick is we bend those over somehow. Well, that looked pretty fancy, didn't it? Can I get you in for a close-up? Yeah, this isn't at all. So I kind of did that to get them started. And then I went back in a couple like I used to tighten it. I'm sure there's a way you're supposed to do this. All right. Yeah, so this fourth gear one of them was gone, and that synchro really did not want to go correctly on an angle. Like, it just, that was not gonna be happening. That was not part of the plan. It was just saying nope. Oh, cool. You can almost see this really well. All right. Coolness. Oh, wow. That worked pretty well. I wonder if doing this might have been a lot easier before putting all of this back together. Oh, that might have made some sense. Oh, well. Awesome sauce. Oh, yeah. YouTube's saying we're having an unstable connection. Of course we are. And we're throwing things. This is the new setup for the shifter. So the thread in the giant metal stick going up to the cab is M14 by 1.50 pitch. And finding ball socket or heim joints, or whatever you want to call them, of that size is actually pretty difficult. So we're going to see. It didn't occur to me that I had to run this out a bit. So I'm a little bit scared, but as long as we get 3-4 threads in, honestly, that's all it needs. So if it gets to that much in, I think it's going to be fine. Oh, you can't see that at all. That much in, I think it'll be fine. So this is a 14 millimeter bolt I got at the local place for your hardware needs. And then these were 1/2-inch bushings. And so 1/2-inch are obviously a lot smaller than 14. And then so the place also had a drill bit I got which was perfect. So 35/64 on the math is like 13.9 something millimeters or M&Ms. And so this one needed to be sort of pressed on a little, but it can be undone. I can actually show you. See? See? So that worked out perfect. I put these on the lathe and I turned them in, and then I gave them a bevel. So yeah, this part's all pretty happy right now. That's kind of awesome. Oh, we need to... Is it this big? No. It's this big. No. Well, F. That means it'll be this big. Yes. Is never on this angle, especially if it's still in the truck. That would be a bad day. All right, so there's our vent. There's our shifter. Okay, so we're done with that. Dunzos. Oh, that thing's heavy. Why don't we clean this out and then we'll put it in there. It's just a little bit of make sure we're not pouring dirt into our thing we just did. Our shifter part gizmo dealy thing. These are from that Swedish store. And every once in a while, they'll have like a big sale on things that are unpopular colors. So this was like $1. And I remember I bought several dozens of these. That's perfect. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we get to take parts and try to make Billie Jean run again. That makes me so happy. Here's a bit we're gonna do. We're gonna start working on this gasket. Oh, we need to put these and this. We need to make sure we don't leave any parts behind. Okay. Why do we have another screw in there? I don't know. All right. Gaskets is just kind of you get your outline before you get started, and then you can come back and drive along the edge to clean it up. With aluminum, you got to be a little bit careful because your knife will want to dig in. So, like, just watch out for that. Just pay some attention. So, like, I kind of got the rough overall shape. Now, this Felpro gasket is a little bit more polite than the angry blue ones were. Now on here, I'm not exactly sure what size the housing is on the Muncie pump. But we're going to go ahead and try to catch the well as close as we can. So the first pass, I mean, I'm just kind of hauling butt, and I'm not right on the edge probably. You want to make sure you don't tear as you come up. The other thing it'll want to do is pull your knife blade out. So now we have a better view of the well, and we're coming in with a little more precision. So definitely the part that bolts onto this is leaking hydraulic fluid. That's an absolute truth. I have a catch pan under Billie Jean right now, and it's a pretty fast drip. This previously did not have a gasket, and it was leaking transmission fluid also from the seal. So sort of what I'm hoping is we can get this contained and maybe everything will be fine until we choose to rebuild the hydraulic system. Our goal right now is to prevent needing a drip pan on the driveway. And it was a pretty bad leak. Like, it was for real, probably a cup over a few days. So a goodly bit of fluid was running out of the transmission. Now out of the pump, the hydraulic fluid going forward is a goodly bit less, but it is still enough that you have to have a catch pan because the rain would just drive it as a slick down your driveway. So it's like pretty severe still. And this is down. Isn't that just great? All right. Half inch. Not half inch. 7/16. Not 7/16. Half inch. Half inch. So these are 5/16 screws. The studs have a flange, and the studs hold down. The studs have a flange, and they hold down the cover for the output shaft. So these fine pitch 3/8 nuts go to, I think, the mount of this whole thing to the transmission. Maybe we will take this off. Just goop up this whole world. All of this was unrecognizably rusty before. I mean, it obviously kind of been the whole 30 years, so yeah, make this all happy and pretend it's going to be dropped off the bottom of the ocean and have that much grease everywhere. And then maybe, just maybe, it will still be happy with me and love me and everything will be fine. That's what we're hoping for. Kind of nothing too magic about where those holes are. I just sort of stabbed them and got them pretty close and then kept tweaking them until they fit. But otherwise, it's an almost professional gasket. Maybe that's what the name of the channel should have been, Almost Professional. It could have been, but no. Didn't I have... Oh, there it is. All right. Okay. Oof. Oh, wait. Let's get that out. We don't want to wreck it. So we've got those screws, and I had to be a nerd, and I went and bought some nicer screws off of that Jungle website. I did. I nerded out. These were fairly cheap, as in inexpensive, and they are awfully pretty. So they are grade 8, so they're a little better than the grade 5s that are in there. But I just like that they're really pretty and shiny. Still not sure how comfortable I am saying those should get like a whole lot of torque. So probably gonna go with the same 25 again. I don't know. We need to swap. Still nobody. Okay. Dang, that socket is sharp. That's Husky, USA. Man, that thing's really sharp. That's rude. I wonder if I machined it flat. The rest of them have a little bevel and this one doesn't. Oops. Maybe I used it as a tool for something. That would make the most sense. My OCD will not let this go. Okay. The rest of it looks like it could be planned that way, but that was no. The green light is still on. That's great. So that's 15. I'm okay with 25. I think I'd be okay. So these are 5/16. So those are sort of like 8mm. And so we're going into steel. I can't get the torque right. Let's try this way. That's too much. Let's go 20. I mean, there's just a point when it's a bit much. 20 feels about right. I mean, what I should say is it feels like it's a little too tight, which in the car world is sort of normal. Dealing with steel fasteners into steel threads, 20 makes sense. Okay, we got those. Oh. Now let's see about these dudes over here. If they're the exact same size, I might. Oh, there might be 4 left. Okay. That's pretty. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I like shiny things. Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. But hey, if it's, upgrading to grade 8 bolts from rusty 30-something-year-old grade 5s, then that should be fine. Sometimes a girl gotta have her bling. Yeah. The legs are going crazy. Crazy. I need a 3/8, I think it's 3/8 fine pitch bolt to put in the end to keep it from filling up with crud. I was going to put screws in those too as well. Just, this is how it was shipped, is open. And it was absolutely pouring a ton of transmission oil out. And I figured I would put screws in to hold the threads, and then if we needed to cover this with an actual cover, that will be available to us. Oh my gosh. I'm a little bit embarrassed how much that makes me happy. Oh my gosh, my top matches my PTO. Well, that's just great. Great. Oh my gosh, I'm so stoked. Now let's get 2 of the shortest ones of these. Ooh, that might not. Well, I don't know. Maybe it will go in. Maybe we'll put a washer on this too, so that we don't mark the surface that I ground flat. So washers have a sharp side and a smooth side. If you care about the place you're squishing down on, you want to use the smooth side down. Yeah, I'm kind of in love with these. And it's kind of a little long. So that's the shortest one it came with. So we'll see if we can put on a lock washer too. And then it'll just like have a little bit better of a presentation. And then maybe it won't fall off and break through someone's windshield. Perfect. Lock washer. Washer, sharp side out. So the whole point of these is just to have something in the threads so they don't collect dirt. And to look clingy. It's shiny. You can see it sticks out a bit on the back. Clear that off. All right. You know, did I torque on that correctly? Let's put this back on 15 and go get the socket and do that correctly. I just don't think it was done. Oh no, it definitely was not done. Okay. Okay. 10 and 5. Is that it? I think that's kind of it. We need to clean that. That's like the very last thing. So why don't we get our gloves and flop them back out, and then I'll put a cleaning on a few of these parts, and that'll be kind of it. I'm so stoked. It's just been so much work and so much frustration and waiting and second guessing and everything else. I'm just so glad, like maybe, just maybe this weekend again. And I just hope 4th comes out okay. it'll be great if fourth works and I can do the split shifting correctly and quickly and then start really learning how to drive. That would be fantastic. So this little gross rubber thing is the cover for the PTO. Somewhere is a brush. And trash can and brush. So first we're gonna see if the brush gets anything off. Oof, kinda. Poor truck, everything's kind of like this. It's got like 10 plus of an inch of oily, greasy grime everywhere. I mean, in a way, it's great because it's a preservative. Blech. This might not come clean. I don't know. No, it's a lot better than it was. All right. Let's get some of the anti-seize off these screws so they're not quite as dangerous to all of humanity as far as messes go. So yeah, it's like next up is kind of just I'm just gonna kind of take all my parts that I want to bring home and put them on this cart. Everything that stays here at work, we get off the cart. That way, like, I can kind of survey everything we're taking home. Oh my gosh. My phone is going to make me bonkers. I'm not quite yet to where I can throw away hardware. I've got a box of all the stuff I've taken off Billie Jean, and there's times it gets things thrown away out of it, and so that'll happen with these screws as well. Or that one just went there. I act like I would just leave it, but I can't because I do care too much. Because then I'll find it later in life and not remember it came from Billie Jean. Oh yeah, definitely, since it doesn't have good markings. Okay. I think that's it. So I'm just so stoked. This weekend, we're going to be looking to make Billie Jean run again and go for a drive. I'm so excited, and I look forward to trying to get through splitting all the gears, especially fourth. That's going to be the biggest deal. And thanks so much for watching. A couple hours of boredom. Thanks for keeping me company. Bye.